I've always been a carnivore player in dinosaur games, both Prior Extinction and Path of Titans. While I've grown every dinosaur at least once, there's one I've never really given much attention. Concavenator. I have no real reason why, other than I generally preferred Ceratosaurus and Megalania for small carnivores, along with the PTSD of Conc players being actual gods. So, I decided to give it a proper try, with the goal of killing at least one person who had a chance of being able to defend themselves. So, thus, Crimson Dawn was born. I'm not much creative with naming, so I always use random ones. Plus that fits nicely since I play on the Crimson Isle servers. I started off as every fresh carnivore does in the wild, collecting plants. After finding myself in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, I decided to move south towards Hunter's Thicket, where the dense quest spawns will let me grow much faster. Questing in Snake Gully would result in some trouble I cannot show you because the replay won't load. I ran into a Ceratosaurus, a herd of Tenontosaurus, 2 Torvosaurus who attacked the Tenos and somehow died, along with a crocodile in the water when I fled across the river. Somehow surviving all of that, I continued to quest in Snake Gully and Hunter's Thicket until I reached full adult. After getting to adult, I left Hunter's Thicket to move towards my preferred hunting ground, the Salt Flats. On my way towards Salt Flats, I happened across a pair of Dryptosaurus. I had never actually attacked a Dryptosaurus before this, so I decided to give it a go. After a short battle, I was killed. I can't say I was surprised. Despite both of us making no real big mistakes, having a pack in this game is borderline overpowered, and I personally believe that packing needs to be rebalanced. After looking at the health bars in the replay, I had done enough damage to kill one. but there being two just made the fight unbalanced against me. Anyway, here I was, in Green Hills, left to ponder what happened and to regrow. While finishing up my regrow, I spotted this. Now, you'll notice this is a Daspletosaurus, right after the fresh TLC had released for it. At the distance I was at, and being unfamiliar with the new TLC, I thought it was an Ankylosaurus. Knowing what I do now, it's pretty scary how close I would end up getting knowing that he could have bone broken me this whole time. Thankfully, he left the area before I decided to risk attacking him. And, side note from, editing Varanus, there was a pretty big pack of Daspletosaurus that got actually rather close to me, and I had no idea they were there this entire time. You can see I'm looking at these Therizinosaurus here, and I am completely unaware that he's right behind me. After leaving Green Hills, pondering my last death, I realized the only reason I had lost was because I was not an Edgysaurus Rex. I shed my blue-tinted skin into the red-accented one. After finally reaching the salt flats, I thought it would be best to lie and wait for my meal to come to me. Almost as soon as I got to my perch, a Bars Boldia appeared in front of me. I could try to attack it. It would be a pretty hard fight, and he's gone. I have no idea if this was just a visual bug or not, but the bar just vanished immediately after spawning it. After waiting a few more minutes at the salt flats, I heard a vocalization. I do not recognize this one, and unsure what it was, I descended the cliff and hoped I'd find something I could kill. Two Anodontosaurus showed themselves, one being a fresh spawn. Despite my better judgment, I gave it a try. The fight lasted a while, but ultimately was ended by the 2-minute restart timer. This particular server had no combat after the 2-minute mark, potentially saving my life, but I was quite happy with my performance. Again, checking the health bars after the fact, I was actually quite surprised by the damage I did, especially on the adult. If I had focused on him, I probably could have killed him. Back to surviving, I returned to my rock and waited for the server reset. So far, I was starting to see why people generally liked Conc so much. It had good stamina, speed, decent damage, and bleed. An all-good rounder, even if it is a bit small. It can even swim. I'm not really sure why it can. That's something it can do, apparently. While getting water from the Hoodoo Pond, I noticed something interesting happening behind me. A Carcharodontosaurus was attacking a young Dasp. Kark might be the fastest apex, but had nowhere near enough stamina to keep up with the Dasp forever. So, I decided to follow them in order to finish off the injured Daspletosaurus. The Dasp, at first, was trying to out-juke the Kark, for some reason, but eventually got with the program and ran straight south. I was following about 300 meters to the left. I eventually caught up around the border of Stego Mountain. My guess was that he was going to run towards the Green Valley. Surprisingly, on the way there, I spotted the DASP again, and I continued to trail it. I continued to follow him, waiting for him to lie down. Sadly, he didn't rest and just continued to run. To the point, he even crossed the river. Right before I was about to cross, I noticed not one, but two other DASPs, and I couldn't tell for the life of me if they were in a pack or not. They were not aggressive with each other, and were just kind of also moving about without any coordination, just randomly wandering the western shore of the lake. When I crossed the river for a closer look, I accidentally walked on top of the third DASP, which at the time I had no idea was there. Confused and not willing to fight a 1v3, I left the DASP alone. Instead, set a course to Young Grove. I thought there I'd probably find something a little bit bigger and more easy to take on. So I set out south and turned west towards the Whistling Columns. Night was falling, however, and I detected a slight sound to my left, and out emerged a sub-adult Cryolophosaurus. Alone, and seemingly in no mood to attack me. This was perfect. Before you get a chance to run, I engaged it. As quickly as the fight began, one final blow to the head, and the Cryo had died. I really forgot how squishy Cryo can be sometimes. But despite that, I had failed my personal challenge to kill something that could fight back. I'm still unsure if Conc will ever outcompete Cerato for my love, but it's definitely earned its place on my roster. It's definitely a safe choice, for something easy to survive as. I haven't even tried out the proper aquatic build. Maybe next time. As the sun rose and I finished off the body, I retreated to a small cliffside to log out, happy with my progress that day. Hopefully you enjoyed that more experimental video. I've never actually made a Path of Titans video before this. It's a big departure from my more clip-focused highlight videos of me and my friends doing whatever on 2-Fort. And I actually wrote a script this time around. I've been playing a lot of Path of Titans as of late, but mostly on my Steam Deck, which I cannot record on since I only have OBS on my computer. And transferring files from either is hell and a half. My computer is also slowly reaching the end of its life, which you can probably tell from the footage. I'm hoping I can get enough money to get a proper desktop soon. However, I'm not confident as I'm in my second year of university. If this video does decent enough, maybe I'll make a part 2. I'd love to test out the more aquatic abilities for the Concavenator, and I would need every ability I can get in the Crimson Isle. Winter is coming.